Gillespie from the corner, twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move, trying to get to Son. He holds, he shoots, he scores! Absolutely!
The pitch, high fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Whoa. That 10-year logo anniversary by Anthony Veltri, who's on work duty up in Erie, so he can't be at the show. We got Anthony Piano, normally known as A2, and we got Ryan Thomas in the control room, and Steve MVP Fisher is here. So I'm honored. Wore my nice yellow Pittsburgh Sportsline polo. Thank you, guys.
You look good.
I appreciate it. I needed to know. Thanks for watching our live Pittsburgh Sportsline show in the BPTV studio right here in the Municipal Building, 5100 West Library Avenue. You know where it's at. Police is to the right, up above's the library. Do we have our Facebook Live? I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, we do. Oh, your video poster.
Okay, Amy, thanks for watching us in Pima Tuning. She's on vacation.
Another vacation?
She got like 5 this summer, but other than that, it's a little chilly up there. So thanks, Amy. We appreciate that. But thanks all of you for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, the greater Pittsburgh area, and even downtown Pittsburgh. And we appreciate all of you watching our show and your comments and feedback. And thanks for the Facebook likes. I think we're right about at 7,000. I didn't see we hit it, but we may have hit 7,000 likes. So if we did,
I'll check.
I got Nick working on it right now. He took a day off from the fan just to be back on Pittsburgh Sports
Thanks,
Line.
Nick. Thanks, Nick.
We appreciate you. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Smoking Jim Frazier. Chip Hayner has a little cough. He's worried about potential COVID, but he usually works with himself with a lawn service company. He didn't want to get me sick, so kudos to Chip Hayner for not getting me sick. So I had to call in one of my good friends and the biggest fan, believe it or not, of Smoking Jim Frazier. We have James Randall Ellen Bogan, and you'll see it in the credits on how to spell his name. And of course, we got VIP Nick Callis here. There he is. And look at we did a grand opening for Grandmaster Zhang in Bridgeville. Zhang Taekwondo. Nick, can you turn around for Piano?
Oop, you think I can? There.
Here, I'll help. Let me spin it. Sorry. I think I tore his hamstring.
No, you're good.
Maybe his groin. We got a groin timeout. All right, we're going to test Steve Fisher. I got some promos. Oh, man, we lost a few likes. We're at 6,994 likes. So thanks for almost getting us to 7K. We were 3 away a week ago.
Now we're 6 away.
My daughter told me when I had 100 likes 8-9 years ago, and I went down to 97, she goes, Dad, you don't know Facebook. Haters hate. So I appreciate all of you, whether you're a hater or not. Just give me a like. All right. Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Frank Fanero said hi to Smoking Jim and all of us here. And Jim Ellenbogen, hope you enjoyed the pizza firsthand on Pittsburgh Sportsline. Luckily, Smoking Jim, you know I don't like picking on you, but his one comment was, am I allowed to eat a piece of the pizza? Because Smoking Jim doesn't stop during the show. I said, Jim, that's only one less that he'll have. So he only ate one. And I was counting because I was protecting you. Well, we get an XL pepperoni pizza. We get a steak hoagie cut in 6 cuts. And it's delicious. Frank Fanero owns it. And he sponsors our show with this, and we appreciate it. Great Italian food, great antipasta. I met a guy named John, and he ordered antipasta with shrimp on it. I said, what a great idea. I go, I never thought of putting shrimp. He goes, I'm eating lighter. I'm 55 now, so I'm trying to watch what I eat. I said, welcome aboard. I started 30 years ago. He said, I'll check out your show. He goes, I like how you're talking. So we covered that, and they just have great things, and it's at Hillcrest Shopping Center. So check them out. Tell them the Talking Machine told you to go there. Or give them a call, 412, write it down, 831-1900. Tell him you want the, no, better not. He charges double if you tell him you know the Talking Machine. Just sharing, we're friends. That's what friends are for. All right, now some serious stuff. We'll see what Steve does. By the way, he did great on olive oils. He's showing like he knows what he's doing here. Let's see. Whoa, look at that background with the yellow shirt and it's centered. The boy there is Bennett. He was handicapped. He died at 16 and a half.
That's Joey Fabus.
Oh, wait. What am I doing? Yeah, sorry. You've got to always be smiling in there. What the heck? See what happens when I read? Nick, thanks for being here. You saved me. All right, please stay Joey strong. We end that to honor Joey Fabus, who died at 8 years old due to brain cancer, DIPG. And every show ends that way. He died right before his 9th birthday 8 years ago. And his family started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. They've raised over $100,000. Their big event was the Joey Fabus Race Against DIPG Superhero Race. We do it every year. Nick helped me out this year, and he filmed a nice event. And we interviewed just about everybody that was willing to talk to the Talking Machine, and we had a lot of fun. And that's their biggest fundraiser. Dr. Gary at Children's Hospitals looking for a cure. They said they're on the right path because you got to get different medicine to go past the brain stem. So Smoking Jim, we'll tell him what the brain stem is because he doesn't know anatomy or geography. But other than that, he's my best friend. So donate as little as $1 or anything you can afford. It's a 501c3. Steve Fisher knows what that means because he helps nonprofits. Unlike Smoking Jim, who's a for-profit, we don't know what he does. All right, here, now I can do the right thing here, Nick. Thanks for being here again, buddy. And great chart. Bennett's the boy in the picture. Look at that close-up that Steve did. He's on fire as our MVP. Always be smiling. His parents, Kristen and Dean, started it. It's a 501c3. Again, you can donate as little as $1 or any amount you can afford. They had Facebook Live shows on Montour Trail raising money for other families that they donate money to help them get kidney transplants for their children. So they're doing great things in our Pittsburgh area. They asked me if we could get their page up to 1,000 a year ago. I got 411 of my close friends. So all of you that I've invited there, if a few of you can keep liking, always be smiling, we appreciate it. And they say thank you to everybody that the Talking Machine invited. We appreciate it. So great group. All right. We'll see what Steve does on this. He's on fire right now. This will be 4 in a row for him. Let's see what he can do. This will blend into my shirt. No, it doesn't. Look, the colors are distinct, yellow and yellow. That Steve's doing great. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. The red and white trolley's there. Yes, it's a trolley. It's not a T. And it's right out front of the 1905 schoolhouse. And that's been refurbished from the basement where it had a coal furnace up to the cupola, which is brand new, and it has the original bell there. So check them out. They've done new windows, you name it. They even have an auditorium called the Bethel Park Community Foundation Auditorium. I'm a trustee on the board. Whatever you donate here is tax deductible. Again, Steve can explain that. No, he better not. Smoking doesn't get it. He doesn't have a government name either. So, in other words, for all of you that don't understand, he doesn't pay taxes. Oh, did I say that? I was thinking it. So check out the Bethel Park Historical Society. They do great things. They do events from weddings, graduations, they have yearbooks, they have military uniforms, they have old radios there from the early 1900s. Just a great place. I love history, and I love that place. All right. See what Steve does here. He gave the thumbs up, folks. There it is. If you notice that smiling face, that's a talking machine. Again, Smokin' Jim only learned about Uncle Sam, and that's Uncle Sam came into being during 1812. They called U.S. Supplies there Uncle Sam. So that's where it started in 1813 during the War of 1812. Again, Smokin' Jim says he graduated at Gateway. We have no record of that. So this is just facts, folks. I'm not making it up. We want you for BPTV. You can be like Anthony Paiano. I'm allowed to say his last name because we have no Veltri here. We got Steve Fisher. We got Nick Callis. We got Ryan Thomas. I finally remembered his last name.
Yeah.
Look at how he makes us look. Look at that. Ryan's the best there. They came back on a special night. We needed help. And guess what? They came in. So I'm honored that they're here helping us out. You can be at BPTV. Give a call, 412-831-3304. Let me explain. They're only here temporary tonight. So we need you. If you're in high school, you want to have some fun, every Tuesday night you can run cameras, control room, learn how to do it, even do your own show if you're a resident of Bethel Park. So if that's not an incentive, I don't know what. But if you want to do stuff on YouTube, video, TikTok, Twitch, any of these other things, they can show you how to make your videos better and sound great. And they'll even tell you on TikTok, don't go past 15 seconds. I'm old, and they told me you want to do TikTok. I go, what? Now I'm doing TikTok. You can too. All right.
The people love Smokin' Jim too.
Well, how could you
On
not?
TikTok.
He's an honest man.
Give me some football.
He's an honest man. All right, Steve, what do you got here? Oh, that's a wide shot. Oh, that's me looking at the wide shot. The Bethel Park Community Foundation. How'd I look?
You look great.
Okay, thank you. I need that reinforcement because I've never been this old and I'm aging as I speak. It just won't stop.
You're the alternative.
Yeah. That's why you're here. You're my straight man.
I'm your straight guy.
Yes, and I won't say we're the same age, but you can figure it out. You can go to www, you know the W's, bpcf.org, get an application. We have grant money for you from $100 to $5,000. You have to be legit and help other groups in Bethel Park. Smokin' Jim said, could I have it for, we won't name the cryptocurrency that he's supposedly in. We've seen no proof of it, and we don't know what he's doing, but he will be a millionaire in 4 years.
Yes.
So you get your application. We have money for you doing great things in Bethel Park. All right, next up. What's on your mind, Smokin' Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Overhand.
you got to see Levine. Coach McDonough taught me that from Peabody, that catch, that baseball basket
Jim catcher.
Yeah, Coach McDonough, I knew that. But, hey, on a serious note, I feel bad for kids. I knew it was going to happen.
Hold it. Whose kids? Your 110 godchildren?
Yeah.
Or others in Pittsburgh?
I got a lot of cousins.
Well, I heard you were up to 499.
But I knew
Just
it was,
saying.
I knew it was going to happen. Al Levine, the talking machine.
You're keeping us in suspense.
You know, the highest scoring team in the WPIL was Hempfield. They're blowing everybody out, playing great offense, great defense, getting all this publicity, and I knew it was going to happen. You know, a few years ago, we recruited Birch out of Jeanette. He took him to a state championship. He was the best athlete to come through that school since Terrell Pryor and Dick Hoke. And so we decided to recruit his brother, too, who was all-state. And it was just one of those things, Nick, that we all play ball. And when you were given when you were continually talking about the Hempfield Spartans playing at home, and here's the thing that I wanted them to really pull back, because
Who are you
they
talking about?
invited Gateway High School, a football factory, to not only to play Hempfield, the #1 rated team in the WPIL, but they brought them in on their homecoming. And Jim, you know for yourself, that's the biggest disrespect ever. I talked to Birch before during practice that week, and told them I have a lot of friends. Hey, there's I in team. Don't do it for you, do it for me. I said, I know a lot of people in the infield. You guys can't lose. He says,
Do you know Jim Ajay?
Yes.
Shout out to our biggest fan.
Well, he
Jim
got out of
Ajay.
town. He knew to get out of town. He went to California.
How about
yeah.
he went to the actual California,
Yeah.
not California, PA?
Yeah, he got out of town.
The state. He went to the state.
football team should
There
have
was
went out
some
of town.
confusion by my geography challenged friend. It was Cal State, the state.
I knew
not
that.
the old university that's
Well,
now West
either
Penn.
way, he got out of town, and the football team should have got out of town. Birch told me during the week in practice, he said, we're going to score every time we get the football. They got the football 8 times, scored 8 times, 160-something to nothing. But, hey, this is the best Gateway team I've ever seen, better than when Terry Smith played and Curtis Bray, better than when my brothers played. This was the best team.
How about
I
when
ever
you
seen.
played?
Oh, we'd have killed them. we'd have destroyed them. Hell, I mean, the talking machine. But other than that, this is the best team.
You're a
I've ever seen
modest.
that
You can
game.
see how
I gotta
modest.
be honest.
Why did you,
But that's what's on my
why
mind.
did you start that with you feel bad for kids?
I feel bad for.
Let me explain.
Listen.
He's disingenuous.
I-
Look that
No,
bird
no,
up.
I did.
You're
I knew what was going
disingenuous.
to happen with Hempfield. You know, Hempfield was the #1 team in the WPIL, and you're going to invite Gateway to your homecoming? I mean, it was the biggest slaughter probably in the history of the WPIL.
I'm
and
sorry
they
for
pulled
your
back.
loss, but I'm not
If it
sure.
wasn't for when Jim and I played and Al Levine, the talking machine, played. I'm not sure about when you played. I think you had the mercy rule. There wasn't no mercy rule.
No.
They got the mercy rule now, and the second half's only 5 minutes long. You know, you get a drink of water and it's over. So if it wasn't for the mercy rule, Gateway would have scored 100. But that's what's on my mind. I don't want to take up too much time.
That was okay, Smoking Jim. I just want to say, get your Funkin' Wagnalls on, like I do. 1909 book. It only comes out thanks to Lois Brenner. Well, Steve, can you pull in on this? Because we got to pull the dictionary out. The word I have for you, and he has college degrees. I don't know if we got a close-up from Ryan. Oh, there it is.
There you go. I got
Then
a
I'll
pig
try to
skin.
open it up. You can pull
Sheepskin.
in on the year. Let's see what we do there. Look at how bright it is. I'll
Oh, it's
try to
still in
tilt it
good
down.
condition. It's still in good condition.
1909. Well, I got to look up a word begins with D-I-S. Disingenuous is Smoking Jim. I mean, I'm just stunned that he got like a degree in general sew, basket weaving, art class 1, 2, and 3.
Did you ever paint?
No,
Finger paint.
just like he never edited.
General so.
Yeah, you got
I didn't know
it.
he cooked that.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. He ate it.
I did. I
You know
was
what?
good. I
This
had a bow and arrow
1909
class.
dictionary doesn't have it in. Just Google it if you can even spell it. Well, on second thought, don't even Google it. Thank you, Lois Brenner. It's always appreciated. Thank you, Smoking Jim. Got a shout out to a couple people here. Let's see. Amy said hello. Amy said, Chip, I hope you feel better. Chip doesn't really watch the shows that much.
His nose is
And
right.
Amy says, Nick, I like your shirt. Amy, that's
Thank you, Amy.
Grandmaster Zhang from Zhang Taekwondo got it, and you saw the VIP on the back. Johnny Mariano, what is the best indoor paint you would recommend? Oh, wait, wrong show. That was for Handy Andy. Anyways, great show, Talking Machine and Smoking Jim and Nick. Hey, Johnny, you forgot we have a special guest, Jim Ellenbogen. You didn't shout out to him. Let me see what else you said here.
He wants to know if we do entertainment on the road.
Well, he wants to know, do you guys do entertainment at parties? We charge a little too much for that, so we'll keep that on the down low. And then don't forget Smoking Jim's Golden Quill. It's never been verified. Just like he's a writer for the New Pittsburgh Courier, or he was. Officially, he was. So, we'll have to see. And then here I got a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
All right. No, glad we could appreciate it. Mark Richards, thanks for watching the show. Longtime friend from the Post-Gazette. He's an Ironman guy. Just got injured, and he's trying to get better. He's in his 60s now, too.
Wow.
So there's no quitting people that I know. All right, let's go to What's on Your Mind, Jim Ellenbogen.
My man.
Well, I think we got to talk about what everybody wants to talk about, and that's number 8, right?
Yeah.
The Steelers, should they have started him? Should they not have? Well, on my mind, I don't think that the coach was fair to Trubisky in the way he handled it. He should have either did it before the game or waited till the next game, because I think to embarrass him like that in front of an entire stadium while they're rooting against him, I think is not productive if you want to keep him.
I must agree with you, my friend. And I have to add this. I listen to Mark Madden once in a while, and I heard the beginning, and he said, guess what? The Steelers are keeping Trubisky as one of their captains. And I had to say, I'm with my son Drew in the car, and we're driving. I go, how disrespectful can that be? You benched a guy, and you're keeping him on as a captain.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
So carry on with your What's on Your Mind.
Well, I will say one thing about Kenny Pickett. He is a lot of fun, and he energizes the team. So will he save the team? This may be a bad analogy, but he kind of reminds me of the captain of the Titanic.
I love this.
When he said, let the band play. At least it'll sound good before the ship goes down.
Oh, for all of you that don't know history, including Smoking Jim, probably a couple thousand people, including the band, died and sank on there. So you talk about honorable people. Yeah, but he didn't realize they were playing for him.
I watched the movie.
What'd you think of it?
It was long.
It's historical.
Yeah, I knew that.
That's probably why it was long. No, thank you for saying that. I love that analogy.
And lastly, I think they were just starting to patch up the offense. It's like you got this boat and you got a big hole in it, the offense, and looks like we could patch it up, and all of a sudden we got another big hole right in the defense. So, I don't know. It's the way the defense is set up, the money that's spent. I mean, some of these guys, nobody can step up for what. And it's not fair that a guy like him should get all the hate.
Well, to quote Tomlin, I got a couple things. It's burned in my brain. First few years I respected him, but I kept hearing the standard is the standard. Well, our standard is sunk so low. Does the rubber hit the road now? And what happened to the next man up?
Well, Spillane's too slow.
Two steps too slow.
Bush reminds me of trying to tune in an AM station. 1 minute I can hear it, and the next minute, where is he?
I like that. I like that.
You're going to get an invite back again. He's thrown out some new classics on Pittsburgh Sportsline. Thanks for coming in tonight,
He may be
Jim.
replacing another guy.
Well, Minka.
I don't know if you're gone yet, buddy.
That was good.
Let me explain. This was not scripted. I just had an itch in my ear. It wasn't me reading anything.
But I will say hats off to Minka, because he was all over the field and doing
Again.
a job with 3 guys.
Again, he's doing it.
Can I say one thing?
Only.
On a sad note.
No, you don't be
No, not
disingenuous.
too sad notes in one night.
I feel bad for Tom Brady. Not
What?
only is he going through a divorce, but he found out that maybe Antonio Brown been with his wife.
Let me explain something with.
No, Brown put a Twitter picture up to kind of like say.
Let me explain something. I believe that there's mental health issues in America.
Once you go
And
brown,
it's black. You don't go back.
No.
Nipsey Russell said that.
I know.
It was
I'm
on national
aware.
TV.
I didn't know if that was supposed to be on this show, though.
Well, it can be because we're quoting history.
Okay.
But on the mental issue, he's the poster child for that. And he just wanted a simpleton, not that Smoking Jim's simple, to make a comment like that. So, again, my buddy, I don't know what happened to him. Amy said, hi, Jim. Ellen Bogan.
That's
And
good.
Amy
I've been called
said-
worse.
Amy said, hi, Smoking Jim. So, Amy, you're one of our
Hey,
stars.
Amy.
You're one of our stars on the show. After Smoking Jim a couple times, I don't know how to introduce what's on your mind, Nick Callis.
All right, well,
Try to bring us back.
I'm not talking about the Steelers, so we'll start with that. That's that. Next, the Pirates. I'm real sad. I mean, I went to the Pirate game yesterday, and I was on a Clemente wall, and I feel like Lars Nootbaar, the Cardinals right fielder, could hear me. He is my new favorite player for the Cardinals. Every time I would yell at him, he was like trying to heat himself up by touching his elbow to his mouth, and I was like, "How's that arm taste?" You know, I was just shouting out there, and my mom kept telling me, she was like, "Be quiet, Nicholas, be quiet. Don't say anything like that." And I'm like, "Mom, we paid $10 for these seats. I'm gonna yell at the right fielder for the other team." So that was the highlight. But like the fact that you could, thank you. The fact
Well
that
done, Nick.
The fact that you could hear me though, man, I was just reminiscing back to like the times when the Pirates were winning when I was a teenager, and I'm like, "Dang, this stadium is empty." Very sad. But the Pirates ended
Let
up
me
winning.
interrupt you
What's
one
up?
second. Nick Callis went to Waynesburg University to use his voice. He just did it and announced it here on Pittsburgh Sportsline. He did it at PNC Park.
Yeah.
Another
I
great
did.
first moment on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Yeah, well.
We're hitting them all.
So,
Oh, wait, 1 second.
What's that?
John Young says, looking good, Jimmy.
Darn.
yeah.
So you're one of your fans.
There's two Jimmys over here.
They're ignoring you now. We got a new star. You know what? I'm putting Smoking Jim from one of my favorite movies. He's on double secret probation.
Saw that.
No, but oh, you good on the comments?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
The game was a
When
little
I
empty.
pause, that means I'm not
The
talking.
game was a little empty, and that made me kind of sad. But then Swinsky hit a ball on the wall and it went just over my head, and I was on TV briefly, although nobody could really see me because I was kind of on the below. But it was cool.
Well, you were
to watch
dressed
it.
in black, so you were like
Yeah, I was
stealth.
blended in.
You were a stealth mode because I first looked at it. You go, you see me, and I'm like, no.
No, I was
Should've
blended
did that
into the
mask
seats.
with the-
But yeah, it was cool. That was the first time
It was
I
Halloweener.
You should have.
That was the first time that I was on the wall when a home run was hit there and the ball went over my head. It was just kind of cool, but then it bounced and landed in the hands of Cardinals fans, so that was kind of rough. But how about this, too? If you didn't catch the game yesterday, it was so exciting to stand up and cheer. 4 straight walks on 4 pitches won the Pirates the game in the 9th inning against the Cardinals. And, I mean, that's why baseball's exciting. The crowd was getting riled up toward the later innings. This goes back to my point with baseball, though, kind of struggling with how it's formatted. Because, like, you watch the first 7 innings, and it's like, yeah. But then, like, the 8th and the 9th come around, it's a close game, and then everybody starts cheering, going, yeah, you know, and then a walk of all things to watch where you're just tense watching pitch after pitch thinking this guy's got to throw a strike. And they brought in 2 pitchers to try to send it to extra innings, and they failed. And my guy, Lars Nootbaar, struck out in the top of the 9th, and you better believe I let him know it in the bottom half of the inning. So that's what's on my mind. Baseball's great.
Hold it. One thing you missed that I thought you'd highlight.
Oh, Pujols hit his 703rd home run. Oh,
That's
my goodness,
one
I
of
was
the
there.
things. There was another one. Everybody's talked good and bad about Cruz.
Yeah.
Guess who walked in the winning run? And he strikes out all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, he
He walked in the winning run.
Yep.
Should I repeat it? Or we're
yeah,
good?
go ahead. Repeat it.
He walked in the winning run, which means he didn't strike out.
MVP.
Now that shows,
well, no.
Smoking Jim shows why he's not a baseball fan
Yeah.
who wears the Pirates hat.
But it
He got it for free, along with his size 26 shoes for $10.
But I
They
totally,
threw it in. Look at him.
I totally forgot to mention that though. Pujols hit his 703rd, which puts he's still fourth on the home run career list. But he's also now second in career RBIs behind Dan Cameron. He passed Babe Ruth yesterday. So I got to watch Pujols do two different historic things, which is pretty cool. So it was a good game.
Nick, thanks for your updates. Being a 23-year-old, we appreciate your perspective.
Babe Ruth had like 714. How'd he pass Babe Ruth?
Runs batted in.
Oh, runs better there.
Explain what that is, Tom.
Yeah, if a batter hits a ball and runs score on the play, they get credited with RBIs.
He passed Babe on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was second behind Babe. So now we come full circle.
Yeah.
You can see what they teach on math, geography, words, dictionary, etc. All right, our big fan from Chick-fil-A that's still closed on Washington Road, he said KP area has begun. Been through Monroeville the last couple of days and still no word, sign that Smokin' Jim is being here or graduated.
Oh.
LOL.
Well done.
All right. Okay, I guess I got to do what's on my mind. I bleed black and gold. I've been critical of the Steelers. Can't help it. And everybody's saying we have our savior here, 20th first round pick, who's going to save the franchise, who is maybe the best quarterback in the worst quarterback draft in 15 years. So I don't understand the common sense, because as a Steeler fan, we have the standard is the standard, doesn't mean much. Next player up, we don't see anybody stepping up for Watt. If you're saying it's Highsmith, just follow his dad on social media. He'll argue with you on how good his son is with no proof. Again, we try to go by facts. So to me, I see a leaderless team that still doesn't have an offensive line. They blocked a little bit better because they took a page out of my book. As an offensive lineman, a former center, stand in front of somebody. Guess why? They got to push you out of the way. Najee can run past you now. He had a couple runs where that happened. Now, protection on passes, Trubisky wasn't that good. He looked bad again. When you hear somebody can't make an audible, think about this. They send in a play. He sees the defense, got 8 people in the box, and they're running a running play. So he knows you're going to have defensive linemen 7 yards in the backfield, and he can't change the play. You took away his things. How about defense when you got a pass play and you got your best receiver or two double teamed and you have a blitz coming on? He's not allowed to audible out. Okay, so you take him out of the game. We get the savior, Pickett, and I wish him well. I'm not trying to talk bad about him. But in the past, if you threw 3 interceptions, Steeler fans would have said, get this bum out of there. And they would have said the famous SOS, same old Steelers. What do I hear now? Pickett's not responsible for the 3 interceptions. How did the truth change to, what do you call it, a lie? I mean, I'm trying to watch a game. Tomlin's supposed to be a great players coach. How come we can't score in the first half or first quarter? They are the slowest starting team that I've seen for years. Last year was the worst beginning of a game that I saw. Luckily, we had a crippled Hall of Famer in the last 5 minutes of the game. He won 6 of them. Mm-hmm. So we have that to hope for. We still have Boswell, and he can kick. And didn't he just kick his longest field goal? And then for all the people that are so pumped up with Pickett, guess what? He scored twice. That's great, right? In the fourth quarter, do you notice the score? We're winning 20-10. What does an average Steeler fan say when you can't hold the lead? How do we all have amnesia? I'm for the Steelers. Go Steelers. Just get better. That's all I'm hopeful. Get better. Next 4 games, I'm going to call it here Death Valley and Steeler Country. And study that word, Death Valley. You, Smokin' Jim, you know a team where you go play them, it's Death Valley. You know what it means? You're going to lose. I'll explain it because some of you may not know that. and I understand. We're going to be right back with Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac. 10 seconds.
Thanks, Steve Fisher, Rookie of the Year. Got my main man A2 in the house. Ryan is back. I didn't know he was a Thomas. I like that. I never would have guessed that he was a Thomas.
No, I got it because that's his last name.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Hey, my main man.
What'd you always
the
say
VIP
about guys
of
that have two
BPTV.
first names?
Yeah, I forget. Nick. But, hey, listen, I'm just going to break it down like this. Coach Tomlin looks lost without Big Ben, number one. Number two, I took a lot of heat in preseason when I said that there's no way you make Mitch Trubisky team captain. Of course, I said Najee Harris, and he's proven he's not a captain either. How are you going to make this guy a team captain? I knew he was going to get benched. This was not the right time, and Jimmy said it right. It's not the right time to bench him, number one. Number two, listen. This guy proved he can't win football games for you. The easiest part of the schedule. Kenny Pickett came out of preseason. He should have probably started from game one. He proved it. You don't put him in now for the simple reason, Al Levine, the talking machine, if there's any game that you want to play Mitch Trubisky, you want to play him in Death Valley for two reasons. Number one, I bet the house on Buffalo already. I may put a couple more dollars on it, but number two.
Disclaimer. If you don't bet, don't start. If you do bet, in this case, bet with Smokin' Jim.
Number two, Al Levine, the talking machine. If there's any team that you want Mitch Trubisky to play, you want him to play Buffalo at Buffalo for the reason he spent a whole year in Buffalo. Why would you put your rookie quarterback in the loudest stadium in the NFL, right up there with Kansas City and Seattle? You're putting a rookie quarterback in there. You're liable to get him killed in this Death Valley 4 stretch. This team, listen.
Thanks for stealing my line.
Coach, yeah, I love it. I love it.
You should
know what
call
I
it
mean?
more like the Little Bighorn than Death Valley.
Well, people don't know about Custer.
And then
We will.
we see some of the scores with Buffalo. They got a great quarterback. They got a great team.
Josh
they got a
Allen.
great coach. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, this is revenge. The Buffalo got beat by Pittsburgh Steelers and embarrassed last year in the first game of the season. They want some revenge. And the number two things, it's a blessing and a curse to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know why? The blessing is you're playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The curse is it doesn't matter how bad the football team is. They show up like it's the Super Bowl because they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a bad time to put Kenny Pickett in there. Coach Tomlin, since he's been here for 16 years, have yet to develop a quarterback in 16 years, and right now he may end up ruining a potential first-round quarterback. They may have to draft a quarterback in the first round
All right,
again next year.
Couple points.
I don't like Tomlin.
Here's a disclaimer. He's personal friends with Tomlin and his wife, Kia. So we don't know that, except we know she's a beautiful woman.
She's beautiful.
See, I had to beat him to it. Then the second thing, were you talking to Rayco this week?
No, he don't like white people.
He likes me. He likes me. He let me read his book, Blessed and Cursed.
He's in Africa right now.
That's good for him.
Yeah. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm friends
He
with him.
calls it African.
I'm friends with him. No, but I'm friends with him. And you were.
I bet you if you go to Africa with him, you won't come back.
Like
Why would you even say that?
Jim, like Brisker.
You better be Tarzan when you get there, brother.
I just want to meet Jane. That's all I want to do. I just want to meet
By
Jane.
Jim Brisker over there.
But Smokin' Jim, on your quarterback analysis was very good. One of the better
Thank you, sir.
analysis
Thank
we
you, sir.
have.
Thank you.
Except you started the season out with Mason Rudolph.
Yes, sir.
and now all of a sudden you flip-flopped, I guess about 90 degrees.
Well, they'd be undefeated with Mason Rudolph right now, in my opinion. And number two, and here's the last thing I'm going to say.
I'm glad I got him pumped up.
Making him a team captain, right now he should be the third team quarterback, but you don't want the team captain walking out there in street clothes. You only dress 2 quarterbacks. So now since he's captain, you drop him to second team instead of third team where he belongs. So Mason Rudolph don't get a shot because you made him captain.
I got to make sense. How can you make sense when Tomlin put out the list of quarterbacks? Mason Rudolph was second. Then he said he made a typo.
Yeah, typo.
So if you're saying he thought that deep to put Trubisky as number 2, I think he meant number 3.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to Jim Ellenbogen. We didn't make a special segment. He can do part 2 of the Steelers or anything else he wants to bring up sports-wise.
Well, I don't know. I had this vision of standing on the Fort Pitt Bridge with a wreath that says Pirates 2022 and just throwing it in a river.
No, that's it. And I want to give you a little history. Weren't you on the board of the Sports Authority?
Yeah, that's what makes it worse for me.
That's why I'm sharing this.
I sat on the Sports and Exhibition Authority for 12 years, so I kind of have a more intimate look at a lot of the teams and what's going on.
How can I get on that board?
You gotta know somebody.
Smoking Jim, let me share this. No, I'll share this. You've told me for 11 years you're an honest man. You just heard an honest man tell you the truth who didn't say he's an honest man. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate
Well, you know, in politics, you know what the definition of an honest man is.
No.
It's a guy when he's bought, stays bought.
You heard it from a guy that knows. He has a political history in his family and friends. So if he's talking, I'll just verify this. He's talking the truth, Smoking Jim, unlike you do most of the time.
All I can say to the people listening, if I end up hanging myself, somebody else did it, trust me. I know too much, I think.
Yeah. Whoa, hey, we have somebody's dad chiming in. Wow. Steve Callis, the father of Nick, VIP Callis, said, "Today's show was great. 2 things I finally could relate to. Animal House and mental health." I won't ask what order. I won't ask what order. The new fellow, Jim, I think his name reminds me of Charlie Callis.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
I don't know who it is either.
The name reminds him of Charlie Callis?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Charlie
Uncle.
Callis was a comedian out of Vegas that hung with Shecky Green and company. He was one
There
of the
you
old,
go. Not only is
He knows more than you, Machine.
we come from the same year.
Well, you guys come from the same brains.
No, well, we're good friends because of this. Jim will verify it,
Yeah,
and so
we
do
have
I.
we have a lot in common.
We have a lot of common stories with our history and work and being in Pittsburgh and seeing corruption everywhere back growing up.
Yeah, that's a lot of my problem. I've been too close to a lot of stuff that,
It's jaded you.
well, yeah, you know.
I had to put it out there. That's the word I use.
I mean, I've got to the point where, like, if I'm walking down the street and someone says good morning to me, I stop and go, I wonder what he meant by that.
All right, we're going to go to VIP time in 10 seconds. Thanks. Your dad just made a comment. I think the Jim Ellenbogen on your show is funnier. My hat goes off to my friend. That's why I brought him on. Thanks for substituting for Chip. He might be the new Wally Pipp for all you sports fans. Nick, carry on. Sorry for the interrupt, but when people, and thanks for having Facebook Live up again. Last week it was so disappointing that it was down on us for 40 minutes. So,
I don't think it was 40 minutes. But
yeah, it was because with what was on for me, and then Steve made a comment we were down, and it went another 15, 20 minutes.
Gotcha. Well,
So I'm dealing with facts, real time. We appreciate all of you even giving us input or not. And if you like the Jim side of the board better than us, I'm cool with that.
A big sign just
Go
says
ahead, Nick.
Jim.
All right.
Try to boost our side up.
All right. So I got a story to tell a little bit because
We like stories.
baseball's making me sad, and here's why. I think the baseball writers, the people who have made decisions about who should be honored and remembered in baseball history, have gotten it wrong more often than you think. And I was reminded of that because Aaron Judge is moving toward the American League single-season home run record. I'm a big baseball movie guy, and I learned a little bit about Roger Maris by watching a movie called 61 Asterisks. So if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend you watching it. It has a lot of adult content in it, so don't watch it with your children. But it's still a good movie. And here's why I'm thinking about that. Because Roger Maris Jr. has been posting on Twitter, maybe there should be 2 records between the steroid era honored people or the people who broke the records, and there should be a difference between people who didn't take steroids being recognized. Now, a lot of fans out there seeing that a blanket statement might say, well, why the heck's he saying that? That shouldn't be happening. You know, of course there should only be 1 record. But Roger Maris had to go through in his time a lot of flack from the baseball writers and from the fans because nobody wanted him to break the record. And the Genius Writers Association at the time decided that because there was a new 162-game season and because Babe Ruth never played in a 162-game season, that if Roger Maris couldn't break the record in 154 games, that there should be an asterisk next to his record. And did the writers get that correct? Absolutely not. Did we really think the 162 game was going away anytime soon? No. They gave you more baseball. They wanted those extra games to give people more baseball because baseball was the most popular sport back then.
Yes, sir.
But because they didn't like the guy that broke the record, they decided to put an asterisk next to his record, and he died before they made only 1 record at that time. I don't necessarily agree with Roger Maris Jr. entirely, but I understand why this man's saying that. And this just reminds me of over and over again that the baseball writers have gotten it wrong a lot. It's a boys' club, and that makes me sad to say because I never thought of Major League
It's an
Baseball
old
like
boys club.
Sure, yeah, okay. But I mean, like, it's just kind of one of those sports where you've got to click. Like, there are people in there who you have to like what they like or else you're not going to be happy with the sport. Same reason why Barry Bonds isn't being recognized when he should. When the steroid era is being looked away from as if it shouldn't and didn't ever happen, which is just wrong. So, and especially even if Barry Bonds wasn't even convicted in his time of taking steroids, or it was never proven to be
He was
positive.
tested 1 time in 2005.
That what? And he tested positive?
He was tested 1 time.
And what happened at the
A
test?
retirement plan.
He wasn't determined taking steroids.
All right, so that's my point.
I'm
Like,
proving your case for you.
right. So I mean, here's all I'm saying.
Even though Clear was sold by Balco, who was supplying steroids to everybody, and it was in their Clear and it was in their cream, and he verified he used Clear and cream.
all right, but I
He
mean,
didn't
like,
know what was in it. So a smart man like that, how do you not know? I rest my case.
right,
Carry
okay.
on.
But I mean, all speculation. Nothing was ever definitive about him, and yet the writers did not like him as a person. So now he's not in the Hall of Fame. The same way that Roger Maris, who really never did anything wrong in his career other than play well, had stuff thrown at him. Like Dave Parker got throwing batteries at him. Maris was hit with batteries, and people were throwing chairs, taunting him. You're not the Babe. They all wanted Mickey Mantle to do it, and it's like that.
How about the death threats he had?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, people were
Who
threatening
would
him with
want to
letters.
kill a guy that's going to
They threatened him
his
and
record?
they threatened him and his family because they didn't want him, and it's kind of like that. Truth is stranger than fiction, or not everything's
Yes.
a storybook. Mickey Mantle wasn't the storybook. Roger Maris was the one who actually did break the record, and nobody appreciated him for it. The man's still not in the Hall of Fame to this day, and he had the record for 30-some years before Mark McGwire eventually took it down in 1998. So they've gotten it wrong.
That's 37 years.
Okay, 30. Yeah, so 37 years. So,
What a retirement plan.
so like, I mean, here's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's like if you're sitting and looking at baseball, and you're only focused on its traditions and what you perceive to have existed for so long, nobody's going to be happy with the sport. You got to appreciate what has happened, and you might not like everything that happened. Again, I don't agree with Roger Maris Jr.'s perspective on this, but like I understand his perspective.
Why does he have
That's
it?
the number one, because his father was disgraced
Thank
all
you.
throughout his
Thanks
life.
for explaining
That's
that.
why he has it. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like
I understand.
I understand his perspective, and I want to respect his opinion on the matter, because if they had done it in the past, why can't they do it again? We obviously know why they're not going to do it again, because those writers in that time messed it up. That asterisk should have never been there. So I feel bad for the Maris family. It must be a travesty to watch what he went through and not get the proper recognition after everything he went through. So don't think baseball is perfect. The decisions in baseball that have been made over and over again have not always been correct. And just think about the writers' mistakes of the past when you think about how racism is associated with baseball, how the steroid era has affected baseball. Put that all together. It hasn't been perfect. And if you think it's perfect, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Great job. man.
Nice segment, Nick. I appreciate you. Sorry to interrupt you, but I had some pertinent points there that helped you
Sure.
with your case. All right, let's go to On Location. 10 seconds. All right, On Location. Great graphic by our Anthony Piano. He's great. We appreciate that. He came back special. He's got me on camera. Look at that. All right, On Location. We just had great shows. I got something to tell my boys. Jose Carabella wants us to do boxing in Kentucky on October 22nd. Wait till I tell you guys what we're going to get paid. And it's in Kentucky.
Horses?
No, it's going to be, it's the
Colonel
capital of horses, Lexington, Kentucky. But Colleen Chaos Davis is fighting. He wants us to film one fight. So we're going to travel 4 hours there, get a room to stay over, and drive back 4 hours the
I'm
next
stay in
day.
Cincinnati. You see the girls in Cincinnati, beautiful. bro.
This is nearby.
It's close. It's close.
This is nearby,
Yeah, it's
as you
close.
know, the interstate. He got GPS and he drives like a turtle. That we're safe. We appreciate that. So that's something to look forward. We're getting different calls on different events that people want to do, and we'll see if it can happen. And we'd like to do our On Location shows again, where we have our interviews and bring guys on like Jim to an interview like he did at the Bethel Park Historical Society. You can check that from last month. We had him out there, and he was a great guest then. You can see why I brought him on. He added some dimension to our show that we hadn't had. I appreciate you, Jim. Want to thank you.
You know, he's a City League champion.
Yes,
Peabody beat Westinghouse.
I'm glad he's telling
Remember
me
Dave
these little-
Logan? Remember Dave
I
Logan?
do, yes.
And Coach Ron Graham?
Yes.
He's a better player than Coach.
Understood. Thanks, Smoking Jim, for your extra insights on my On Location.
Oh, my fault. Shit.
We're going to just open it up to an open discussion right now, because On Location, nothing's really in the works except for October 22nd.
Yes.
And I'll share that with my boys offline. We do a little side business when we travel, so we need a good cameraman, and his Facebook Live down there. We'll get an extra boost because of that.
Halloween show.
All right. We're going to open this up. I'm going to let my man here, who people already, he's a big fan. They're a big fan of yours, Jim.
Yeah.
They want you to lead us off with a little discussion for 5 minutes.
Well, I didn't get elected 3 times for nothing, right?
Well, you won my vote tonight, brother.
You should do a Halloween show.
I know. We'll have to do that.
I think you should.
We'll dress up. We'll be vampires, and we'll suck the blood out of you.
No, I just think that the town itself needs some energy. I mean, I keep saying we were the city of champions. Now I feel like we're the city of chumps. I just,
No, that's a good point.
But,
And why
I
do you
mean-
think that way? Because of what you see.
because of what I see, and like I said, sitting on that board and dealing with all those teams,
Right.
just a lot of things I've seen over time.
And you're talking behind the scenes stuff that we don't even know about.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
We can't even bring it up on public
No,
access TV.
I'd end up under a bus somewhere. or
Yeah,
something.
we don't want that, let alone what he did on the board, because we had a lot. When was it you were on the board? Because you saw a lot of great teams.
From like 2007 through like 2019.
There you go. That's 12 years, Smoking Jim. Gateway education at its best.
I'm a Pittsburgh born and bred.
Right.
I'm not from St. Louis, and I'm not
Lawrenceville.
from Yeah, I'm not from we grew up in a Lawrenceville that normal people today would never go to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Look, you couldn't
It was a
go to
rough-
certain neighborhoods in that area.
No, it was very ethnic at that time, but everybody got along. You know what I mean? We
Right.
never said the Berg. You know,
What is the Berg?
That's what they call Pittsburgh now, the Berg.
I don't go by it.
Real
It's still
Pittsburghers,
Pittsburgh.
they should be selling us on eBay because there's not many of us left. They all
Well,
moved to
Paul
Florida.
Haley, Paul Haley, a Bethel Park resident, in the past said, "Thank goodness Penguin hockey is starting to raise our hopes." Great point, Paul.
They haven't been winning too much though in the preseason.
No, well, preseason. Guess how many games I watched?
See, what happens is, we get used to something. It's like my grandmother used to say, God rest her. Pittsburghers can get used to anything, even hanging if they hang there long enough.
Whoa!
But
What a
it's
smart
true.
grandma.
We get used to a certain pattern, and people accept it as the norm instead of really shaking it up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm a big believer, like you look at some of the people that own, like particularly the Pirates, and I'm
Yeah.
a big critic. Guys that should own teams are guys like the guy that owns Dallas, the guy that owns
Mark Cuban.
the Patriots.
Yeah.
Guys that don't care about money, that want to win.
Thank you.
That's their
Thank
thing.
you.
But guys that just want to get a check, like without remaining any names,
Yeah.
that are sitting there saying, well, you know what? If we lose, we'll have fireworks. And the people will go, ooh. And that's what they doing this time.
Well, even one better, we're going to have a playground. How about now you have a playground at PNC Park? Little
Yeah.
playground.
I walked over a bridge yesterday, a little fake one.
There you go.
was
See,
fun.
he
My
walked
mom wanted
over
to do
a
it, too.
fake bridge.
So in other words, we've lost the nitty gritty gut Pittsburgh of the 70s football, just the game.
Well,
and it's-
since you're on a little rant there, go back in the 70s when we were all down and out, and what happened? The Steelers went 1-13 with Chuck Noll. What happened
Won
after
the first
that?
game 16-12 against the Bears and lost every game.
Yes,
after.
and
I
that's
was
why I
there.
brought it up since you did
I was
say
too.
it.
Pitt State.
What do you think Pittsburgh fans would say now if we're 1-16, which we could be this year?
I'll say one thing about Mike Tomlin, and I'm not a great Mike Tomlin fan, but if they are ever looking for a new James Bond, it should be him because Mike Tomlin can get out anything.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
No, I know. He got. My thing is, he's a smart guy and he makes all these statements, but he doesn't answer questions.
No, he goes home and says, I made $8 million, and what do
Yeah.
I care?
Well,
Yeah.
Turns on a stereo, and they don't have to hear
And
it.
he does well. So
Exactly. He controls the narrative, and those reporters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He intimidates the ones that try to
Well,
get to the
as we all know
questions.
with the media, if you're not promoting our local teams, then something's wrong with you. That's why we try to be honest, and we do listen to Smokin' Jim on some of his bets, but this week with Buffalo, I must agree with him. This may be one of the few times on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
like I'm real hopeful when I see young guys like Nick that are moving up in the
Yeah, media.
because they're energetic and they got things to say. Where a lot of the old timers that have been around, guys I know,
Yeah.
it's the same. I want to go to sleep listening to them. You know what I mean?
Right. I was so enthused with Jim, I almost forgot about where show is almost over.
Oh.
I can talk to him for an hour and a half like I did earlier today. So we could carry on, but please stay Joey strong.